So are there deeper levels of alignment? Because from this conversation, I'm starting to sense that I think I'm pretty aligned, or I know what that feels
and
like.
It's counterintuitive because it seems to you all like the more expanded and evolved you get, then the more active your brain would be and the more stuff you would know and that you could say. But the opposite is how you get there. It's by quieting the chatter and discovering alignment, and then from that alignment allowing new chatter. From that alignment adding new attraction, new friends, new relationships, new exposures to life.
Very last thing. Okay, this deeper, going deeper, back to the basics, getting ready to be ready.
Going deeper, let's call it going simpler, going easier, going lighter, going easier, going simpler, going softer. What else would you call it? Easier, softer.
When I think about the work in general and everything you're sharing, it comes down, for me, it comes down to that deep knowing, and which I do have.
We like your words. And where is this deep knowing? In the vortex. Your inner being is the whole of who you are, who was who you were when you came into this body, and who's picked up all the good stuff ever since. And so the true, deepest understanding of who you are is in that place that you want to bounce off from. This is a really good question. What do you think your deepest knowing is? We're just going to throw this out to you. These are some multiple choices, and you just say, what do you think the deeper knowing is? The deeper knowing. We're trying not to make it too easy for you, but we can't help it because it's so easy. Is the deeper knowing love or mathematical equations? What's the deepest knowing? What's the deepest knowing?
Love.
Really? Seems like the deepest knowing would require a lot of education and a lot of testing. Deepest knowing is love. What's the deepest knowing? Satisfaction or speaking 12 languages? Now, here's the thing. There can be satisfaction in speaking 12 languages. And there can be satisfaction in understanding those mathematical equations. And when you've been ready to be ready, you'll feel that satisfaction in that. But what we want you to understand is the classroom that matters most to you, you can get to today easily. And if you'll just go every now and again, you're going to find yourself happier in life. What matters more to you? What you accomplish and accumulate in relationship to what others are accomplishing and accumulating, and their awareness of how you stand in relationship to all of them, or being glad about something. We're just trying to help you to get your priorities a little straighter, because bless your pointed heads, you have been so comparative out here in the manifested world that you've kind of lost sight or lost feel for what really matters. And so when you leave this gathering today, and you will, some of the takeaway phrases that we think that would be helpful for you are getting ready to get ready, and just reminding yourself of that will take you back to all of the understanding that you had here. That's really an essential one. Another one is there's nothing serious going on here. That's really a good place to start. Enough?
One more thing, just off that. So with the...
now, you got to admit, she's been helpful to you.
That was my intention. So just really quick, so with the knowing part, you said like looking at what other people are doing. I feel like for me, it's knowing what's in my vortex, knowing that I can be, do, and have whatever I want, knowing that that's why we're here.
Well, now, wait a minute.
And not letting that all in.
But what about this? What if you are tuned in, tapped in, turned on, you're feeling really good, and you are observing others around you and finding positive aspects all over the place, and it's just life-giving to you. It's intoxicating to you to see the beautiful textures and lovely fabrics of the world and the people around you. Is milking that counterproductive, or is it productive because you were ready to be ready for it? So what we're getting at is you have to know whether you're doing this to fix something that's broken, which never works, or whether you're doing this because it's the natural sequential consequence of your alignment. And that's why you can't know when you're looking at anyone else whether their action or their process is really productive for them, or whether their process that is productive for them would be productive for you, because it's not about what they're doing, it's the vibrational stance from which they're doing it. So the rule of thumb is, if you don't feel very good, don't keep thinking about anything, because you're just going to mess it up further. When you say to your kids, sit down, we need to talk about this and we need to work this out, don't, because it's not going to get better. But if you have a piece of something, if you have a piece of a law that you're beginning to understand, and now you're wanting to apply this law that you're beginning to understand to something that you're living, and you're feeling satisfaction in the conversation because it's bringing you to greater clarity, that's an entirely different thing. That's what we do all day, every day here, isn't it? You see, we were saying, get into the vortex and then get onto your high flying disc and then get your valve opened and then get into the receiving mode and then. We've been saying it to you in lots of different ways, but you have never heard it like you heard it here today. You're ready to be ready. You just are.
Yeah. I'm ready. Love you. Thank you.
This is a really good time for a segment of refreshment.